the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Go through real quick. The approval of the regular December meeting minutes. I need a motion to approve those. Thank you, David. Thank you, Bob. Anybody see any changes or have any questions? Nope. All in favor? 8-0. Kathleen Oh, you got Kathleen? Okay. Thank you. I forgot. Okay. Now, approval of the work session last week. Minutes. Thank you. Thank you. Any changes or questions on those? All right, all in favor? Thank you. 9-0. Tom, recreation.
We have Bob here.
Oh, Bob, sorry, Bob. Bob, recreation.
All right, thank you all. As you know, in December, we did not have a meeting. In November, we did not have quorum, so for January's meeting, we voted on the acceptance of the prior 2 months' meeting minutes. We also welcomed under new business our newest committee member, Kelly. She introduced herself to the team, told us a little bit about herself. We're happy to have her on board. Under new business, Tom stated that a list of non-member charitable or child-related events is on the POA website. We're to look those over as a committee. We'll vote on those next month. Staff reports. Ranger contacts, December 20 was up 2135. From November, Christmas trees are being collected at Pontoon Park at Lake Windsor this year. Fly Tires have allocated monies for 3 possible kayak launches, beginning with Lake Ann. A coffee and cookie event will be at the BV Bar and Grill February 3rd at 11 for an informal discussion on parks and lakes. John reported that December set a record high for the rifle and pistol range. Classes are slated to begin at the end of February. Information can be found at the range website on those classes. Roland stated that the Metfield pickleball courts have new lights, and in addition, BVRC usage was up 12%. Amenity reports, there wasn't much to report on this time of year especially. Lake Avalon, a book exchange station, is in need of repair. London Park, an unusual amount of landscaping debris was dumped. 2 of our members have helped clean that up. Tanyard Creek, it was suggested that a water fill station be placed near the front parking lot. Tyree Park reported that 2 large potholes that were reported earlier this year were taken care of. And other than that, there were no other significant amenity items to report. Our next meeting is February 9th.
Bob, I got a question for you.
Sure.
On the tree collecting, how long is that, when does that stop?
That you'd have to take up with Rick because I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'll ask Rick.
no clue. All righty,
Thanks, Bob.
thanks.
Thanks. I have a question.
Yeah.
Did we decide, Tom, to add the Burksdale items to their list for review too? For the non-member events?
Right. I was going to bring those to the committee next month.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Anything else? All right.
Do you have legs?
Yes, I got lakes in front of me, and a couple of things are redundant with what was just covered with recreation. But for lakes, they met on January 14th. Loch Lomond is at the desired height. It's down, and so there's a lot of work going on. Lake Brittany received another trout stocking that has already taken place. they went over special events also. Those are the charitable and kid-oriented events, and votes will take place in February for those. We also talked about collecting used Christmas trees, also talked about the coffee and questions with the fisheries staff, which is on February 3rd at 11 a.m. And there was a number of questions that came up, and the main topic revolved around the best and most effective way to remove the grass carp from Loch Lomond. And at the 4 aquatic ponds on raising sunfish, which will produce approximately 40,000 fish in the 4 to 8 inch size. There was no golf committee meeting. Their next meeting will take place in February. And just wanted to make 2 quick announcements. With the storm coming our way, I encourage everybody to look at our website, look at our social media where we're going to be posting. You know, we'll start doing that tomorrow. We don't need to do it sooner than necessary. But if the storm is as bad as we anticipate, then we will probably have multiple closures of our facilities. So just check the website before you head out. And the last thing is making sure that for those that are interested, the deadline to apply for the board of directors is the 16th, February 16th. We do have one final, the third and final informational meeting. If you're interested in running for the board, that will be on February 10th at 4 p.m. Jessica is less nervous than she was last time. The first 2 informationals where nobody showed up, so we're getting a little nervous. We now have several people have submitted applications and so forth, so she's a lot less nervous now than we were beforehand. But if you're interested, please come to the informational and make sure you get your packet in by February 16th. And that's all I had to cover.
Thank you. Beth, you want to go financials?
The suspense. All right, so we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to look back, not just over December, but all of 2025. So take a little longer today, so bear with me. I tried to condense it. When the financial reports are final, they will be posted on the website, and as this presentation as well will be posted on the website. And just the note that these are preliminary results. We're still closing the year. We're still doing year-end year-end adjustments, and we'll continue to do so over the next couple of months. We've made an attempt to capture most of the significant adjustments, so hopefully they won't fluctuate significantly, but it will continue to do so, and won't be final until we have an approved audit. Looking at the consolidated financial performance for 2025, as a reminder, consolidated is both the water utility and then the rest of the POA combined. The revenue was $43,361,000, which was better than the budget of $41 million and 5% better. EBITDA came in at $4.5 million. Which was 17% better than budget for the year. Looking at POA only, so the revenue was almost $30 million compared to $28,672,000 budgeted. It was 4% better. The EBITDA was a negative $89,000 compared to budgeted of negative $330,000. I would be remiss if I wouldn't comment that the grant money from the employee retention credit that we netted about 1.2 million on the POA did help those two numbers substantially. Looking at the water department only, the water was $13,415,000, 8% better than budget. Gross margin was $10 million, 10% better than budget. EBITDA was 44% worse than budget, but still at nearly 4.6 million. On the EBITDA side, the main things dragging it down compared to budget was three areas. It was salaries and wages, which was because we did a market rate adjustment and also added an additional crew. Also, health insurance costs hit both the water and POA hard this year. We're self-insured and we had a lot of high claims. And then the last thing was meter supplies for which is in direct relation to all the new water taps that we had. With additional water taps, we had to get additional supplies. The new water taps increased to 825 in 2025 compared to 589 in 2024. We realized 1.7 million from new service connections and 2.1 million from capital buy-in fees.
Something wrong. If the dark green is actual, the light green is budget, the EBITDA, how is that 44%?
Oh, it's better than budget.
Okay.
Sorry. You're looking at it right. The 2025 food and beverage overview, again, this is preliminary. Revenue increased by 14% compared to 2024. Both food sales and alcohol sales increased by 14 and 18%. Discounts increased by 26% compared to 2024, but the revenue from food and beverage came in at nearly 5 million compared to 4.3 last year. Looking at it from a location standpoint, the BV Bar and Grill had 43% of the share of the total food and beverage revenue. It remained pretty constant compared to 2024. Lake Point had 22% share of the revenue, and it increased by 7%. Highlands Pub had 12% of the revenue, and it increased by 12%. Little Sugar Bistro and BV65 at the same location had 11% share of the revenue, and since that location wasn't open for much of 2024, we didn't really have a prior year comparison there. 5% share for Gear Garden, it increased 16%. 7% share of the food and beverage at the Pro Shops, which increased 29%. Moving to golf, the revenue from golf was $6,351,000, which was better than budget in prior year. The golf operations, the revenue increased slightly by 1% compared to 2024. The number of golf rounds decreased by 6% compared to 2024. The revenue dollars from green fees decreased by 3%. And just as a reminder, Highlands was closed most of the year due to upgrading the fairways to zoysia grass, so that helps to account for the decrease in rounds, as well as we had a tough weather year the first part of the year. The number of range buckets increased by 54% compared to 2024, and Tanyard Creek Practice Center was closed all of 2024, reopened in April of 2025, so that accounts for that increase in range buckets. Prepaid fees increased by 57%. Which is really showing a commitment to golf. For those that aren't purchasing the annual fee, they're still purchasing the prepaid fees. Golf cart rentals decreased by 10%. The Pro Shop revenue from merchandise sales increased by 18%. And looking at the golf maintenance expenses, those decreased by $77,000 or 1% compared to '24. Looking at it from a location standpoint, Kingsdale had 30% share of the golf revenue. It increased by 17% compared to '24. Country Club had 24% of the share, and it decreased by 6%. Metfield had 23% of the share and increased by 8%. Scottsdale had 17% of the share and slightly decreased by 1%. And again, Highlands was closed a good share of the year, so it only had 6% share, and its revenue decreased 65%. Moving on to recreation. Recreation's total revenue was $1.5 million compared to 2024 of $1,474,000. The total revenue increased by 5%. A good winner there was Bowling Springs. Camping and RV increased by 17%. Boat rentals decreased by 12%. Recreation class fees decreased by 7%, and that was largely in tennis. Roland said they didn't have near as many tennis camps during 2024. Tiny cabin income decreased by 6% compared to last year. Moving to the gun range. So that says the rifle pistol was closed December 24, 2024. That should be December of 2023. It was closed all of '24, opened April. So the total revenue increased by 30% compared to '24. On the graph on your right, we actually used 2022 as a comparison because that was the last full year. We could do a month-to-month comparison. It's in the dark red, and 2025's in the blue. So when it opened, it from August on, it exceeded the 2022 usage. It's increased by 7% compared to '22 during the same months it was open in '25. And looking at the trap and skeet usage has decreased by 7% compared to '24. The '24 usage month to month is in the dark red, '25's in the blue, just kind of fluctuated throughout the year. Moving on to improved lots, you can see that goes from January 18 to December of 2025. The sharp increase in improved lots every year. It's increased 3,510 since 2018, 26%. And in 2025, improved lots increased by 713. We started a recreation amenity fee in December and collected $84,000. And some additional POA callouts. Again, we received a grant from the U.S. government for the employee retention credit that was COVID related, and we netted $1.17 million. And the POA had a challenging year, so these funds definitely helped tremendously. Membership transfer fees income decreased by $74,000 or 7%. Lot resales increased by $36,000. Health insurance cost, it was more than in 2025 by $466,000 for the POA share. And workers' comp increased by $48,000 or 87%. And that was due to increased employees and the water and maintenance payroll dollars definitely were more, and they have a higher workers' comp rate. The POA credit card and bank fees increased by $72,000 compared to 2024, 15% increase. So just a reminder, since these are not final, we don't have all the additional monthly reports available yet. And always, just want to thank you, the board, for all your support in 2025. You have any questions?
Yeah, Beth, thank you. The golf, if Highlands had not been closed, approximately, where does it fall in the range? number one, number two, number three in terms of volume for courses?
I would say
I'd have
three,
to look
probably.
at the statistics is available on our website, historical stuff. I think it would be number 2 or number 3, I can't remember, in that area.
Thank you. And then, I didn't catch everything you said about tennis. Did you say 24 was down or 25 was down? What was your,
25, just the class fees was down for 2025 overall in recreation, and that was largely in tennis because of less tennis camps that were held in 2025.
was
Roland
that-
says they are going to look at that for 2026.
was that
so.
intentional? We intentionally had less camps or less desire?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do know that he said he's going to look at that harder for 2026.
Thank you.
And then I have a question about the skeet. A large part of our activity in our skeet and trap is tournaments. Did we have fewer tournaments because that revenue was down this last
I
year?
think we had some fewer events
Okay.
in the year. I think that impacted it. Also, the challenging weather at the beginning of the year had an
definitely.
impact.
Yeah, it
Because they get a lot of usage in the shoulder seasons, and our spring shoulder season was impacted.
I just didn't hear as many guns popping this year when I was over at Highlands, so that's why.
All right, anything else? Thank you.
Just you said that to answer her question, the Highlands, you had it at 9%, and you said it dropped 65%. So that would have made it up at 25%, which would have been just like you said, about the
Yeah,
same as the others.
I should recall Daryl saying the other day that they number of rounds were down 12,000 rounds, and so that's a tremendous, that's a lot. So
Anything else? Thank you, Beth.
Sorry.
you're good.
Next on the agenda is open forum.
Linda?
Do we have some people that want to speak?
Linda?
No?
Okay.
Just trying to get on this.
Step up the mic there, big guy. Thank you, Tim.
My name's Tim Sullivan, I live on 3 Fulton Circle.
Come a little bit closer to the microphone so the
Hello
people
there.
at home can hear
They
it.
can hear me, it's like turning around the back of a plane. Everybody move forward. Oh, okay, sorry. Tim Sullivan, been here for 26 years now. Quick question, when will budgets be finalized for 27, 28? And do you guys, have you already finalized 26 budget?
So the budget for 26 was approved by the board in November.
Okay,
The budget cycle will start in May, June, when we go to the committees, the rec committee, golf committee, lakes committee. The committees will start working on their recommendations over the summertime, and their recommendations have to be due back to the management team by the end of August, and then the management team starts working on the budget, and then the board starts looking at the budget the first part of November, and the second Thursday in November at 6 o'clock in this room is when the board presents the recommended
2027.
budget
2027
to the
budget.
community for the 27, and then the following week, the third Thursday in November is when they vote on it.
Great, okay, that's just my question.
You
Appreciate
got
it.
it?
Thanks.
Thanks, Tim. And no emails, right, Jessica? No, sir. Okay. Moving right along. Next item is the annual vote for corporate officer, which per our bylaws happens every January. So we need motion, for Jessica, corporate secretary.
And we ask that you do these one at a time, because you might disagree with one or the other.
We
I
will-
will recommend that you vote for Jessica.
Second,
I'll receive the one step forward.
It was Jeff's good rate too.
Just want to know.
I'd ask for any comments, but I don't think we need to do that in front of Jessica. Just kidding. All in favor of Jessica as corporate secretary again? Aye. 9-0. The next one is Smith Beth as treasurer.
I'll make a motion to name Beth Nagel as the corporate, as a treasurer of the association.
Thank you, Jackie.
Second.
Thank you, JB. All in favor of Beth? 9-0. This is the one you were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Doug, yeah.
I move to name Doug McCash Vice President of the association.
Second.
Thank you. We don't want to talk about Doug either. All in favor? 9-0.
Who seconded that?
David. Mhm. And the last one, Mr. Judson.
I don't hear anybody.
Longer pause than for Doug.
I'll make a motion naming Tom Judson as the president of the association.
Thank you, Jackie.
Second.
Thank you, JB. All in favor?
Let's discuss.
Did everybody vote? Sorry, I was coughing into my hand. Okay, thank you. 9-0. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you. Next item on the
Yep, go
agenda
ahead.
is we have an emergency capital project for the well pump motor at Dogwood. We're still trying to get additional bids to see if we can beat this number, but we would like approval from the board so that when we are ready, we can proceed. We did include a contingency just to make sure if anything crazy happens, which that happens sometimes. So we're asking for $20,750, and those funds would come out of the emergency fund.
When was the last time we replaced the pump?
This pump was replaced in 2020. Graham sent me a picture, and the motor blew out, and you can see on the side something actually shot out and caused a hole in the side of it. So it was
So it pumps something up from the groundwater.
I don't think I'm qualified to comment on why it failed, whether it was poor workmanship or whether it sucked something up and then it got thrown out. I don't know.
If I remember correctly, the last time this was replaced, it was a lightning strike that caused the outage, and they had to replace all the wire and, you know, everything for 900 and some feet deep. 960?
I'll take your word for it.
That's deep.
I'll move to approve the emergency capital project of $20,000, $750 to replace the well pump and motor at Dogwood with the funding coming from the emergency fund.
I'll second.
Thank you, Bob. Any further discussions on this? Nope. All right, all in favor? 9-0.
The next item is from the Rules and Regulations Committee. This is regarding policy 5.05, which is boat registrations and mooring lease agreement. These changes that we're proposing would effectively, I mean, they would be adopted by the board in the next 2 months, but they would actually go into effect in 27, but we would like to start notifying the membership as soon as possible so that there's no unwelcome surprises down the road. And these, all this information is available on our website, all the changes that we're proposing to be made, and also you can view the Rules and Regulations Committee meeting and the work session, because a couple of small changes were made at the most recent work session. And this is the first of 2 required readings.
I make a motion to approve the suggested changes to policy 5.05, boat registration and mooring lease agreement. This is the first reading of 2 required readings.
Thank you, Deborah. Take a second.
Second.
Thank you, JB. Any further discussion on that? We talked about it, like Tom said, in the work session. Nope. All right, all in favor?
Yeah, I do have
sorry,
just
Jackie, go
one
ahead.
comment on here that I think when we communicate it, we need to be very clear that it is all boats, not just those stored in a slip or on a kayak rack or on the lake, but even if you store it somewhere else and operate it on the lake. So we just need everybody to be aware of the deadline that's being moved is for all of those for payment.
Yep. Thank you. Anything else? All right, now, all in favor? 9-0, thank you. That brings us to the end. Other than announcements, does anybody have anything else they would like to bring up in front of the board? No, all right, we'll go to announcements. Next recreation meeting is Monday, February 9th at 4 p.m. here in the boardroom and live streamed. And all these meetings will be boardroom and live stream unless otherwise noted. The third and final, as Tom said earlier, third and final board candidate information meeting is Tuesday, February 10th at 4 p.m. That is just here in the boardroom. That will not be live streamed. The next Lakes JAC meeting is Wednesday, February 11th at 2 p.m., followed by golf's first meeting of 2026, Wednesday, February 11th at 4 p.m. The next Board of Directors general meeting, which is a closed meeting, is Thursday, February 12th at 2:30. Board candidate application packets are due February 16th by 4 p.m. Please email them to corporate secretary at bvvpoa.com or schedule time to bring them in to Jessica. The next Board of Directors work session is Thursday, February 19th at 9 a.m. And our next Board of Direction regular session and election committee will read the board candidate names February 26th here in the boardroom and live stream. And with that, we're adjourned.